Good morning here at the 6 o'clock hour of Sunrise. You are waking up to breaking news out of St. Paul right now. Protesters have been out all night long trying to stop demolition crews from tearing down the historic Justice Ramsey House, which is on the patio of a restaurant on 7th Street. Our Jennifer Austin is there alongside those reporters. She's been talking with some of them this morning. Of course, we're going to check in with her in just a few minutes here.
Yeah, and good Tuesday morning, friends, if you're just joining us. It is going to be a chilly start to the week, or start to the day, I should say, and more colder weather is moving in. Guys in the backyard to tell us just when we're going to need to add another layer. Hi, Guy.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, you know, this morning a little chilly, yes, but it's funny because we'll be craving these temperatures we're finding right now after this weekend, because that's when I'm looking at some dangerously cold temperatures, as you can see, for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So the cold will be on the way. Right now, it feels like 10 on the skin, 17. And I'm looking at some clear patches out there up in the sky. So that would be nice to squeeze in a few peaks of sunshine today. 28 for the afternoon high, turning cloudy later on this evening. We'll see a few breaks of sunshine, you know, now through about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock is when I'm looking at those clouds rolling on in. Sun up right around 7:41. 24, or rather 21 tonight. A few snow showers start to develop. You'll see those snow showers here turning off and on throughout the daytime, even lingering through tomorrow. So I'm calling periods of light snow, inch or less when all said and done. But I'm looking at a more potent system moving in for Friday. More on that coming up.
And I am keeping an eye on the situation. Just happened here on 94 at the Fish Lake split. A car completely spun around here at 94 where it starts going towards the St. Cloud area. So just a heads up for that. At the 94-494 interchange, a car spun around, and it is really starting to cause a backup. So I'll keep an eye on this and have an update coming up in just a few minutes. Well, staying on top of breaking news right now, in the last hour, demolition crews arrived at one of the oldest buildings in St. Paul, the historic Justice Ramsey Stone House.
Yeah, it is off of 7th Street, not far from the Xcel Energy Center. Jennifer Austin is there live alongside protesters this morning who are hoping to protect that building from being torn down. Hi, Jennifer.
Yeah, hi, Rena, and they're a little bit more hopeful right now. I've been talking with this group of people all night. They've been here overnight, and I just got an update from them maybe 2 minutes ago. They said they got a hold of a judge in Ramsey County. They'd been wanting to get a hold of a judge to sign off on a temporary restraining order to stop this demolition entirely. They told me that that hasn't happened yet. This judge hasn't signed anything, but they're hopeful now that they've actually been in touch with someone that that judge will, and that this historic home here in St. Paul will still stand. And it is worth noting, we have been monitoring all morning, no further activity within the last hour. We saw someone taking down lights a little bit earlier. We assumed preparing maybe for some sort of demolition, but since then, pretty quiet, which is obviously what they want to see. Now, this house is not only a designated historic place here in Minnesota, it's also on the National Register of Historic Places, which is why this crew says it's so important to keep it standing. We want to show you some video shot a little bit earlier. You can get a better look of the home here. It is in the patio area of the Burger Moe's in St. Paul here, not far from the Xcel Energy Center, as you said. It was just last night that St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter signed an order which would allow for its demolition. And in that order, signed by the mayor, it says the Justice Ramsey House partially collapsed back in September. That order cites an engineering firm as determining the home is severely damaged and is a, quote, dangerous structure. The order called this a public safety issue, but people who want to see it stay say it's worth saving.
When we lose a small structure like this, we lose so much of the narrative around the early working class people or the early people of color, or just, you know, anybody that wasn't the James J. Hill Mansion or the Alexander Ramsey House. We lose that narrative.
So ideally, they would like to see this house move to a different location. They say they have a spot in mind, someone who's willing to pay to take it off site. Now the step here is just making sure that it doesn't get demolished before that can happen. And again, they are now waiting, having heard from this judge, to see whether that restraining order will get signed, and they'll stop demolition, at least for this morning.
All right, well, there continue to be updates this morning, so we'll check back in with you, Jennifer. We appreciate it.
All right, this morning we are learning new details about another mass shooting in California that left 7 people dead. This one happened near San Francisco. It happened in the town of Half Moon Bay in 2 different locations, a farm and a nearby business. Police say all of the victims are Chinese farm workers, and a 67-year-old suspect is in custody. They also tell NBC News a gun was found in his car. A possible motive hasn't been released. And an update this morning on the deadly mass shooting that happened Saturday night in Southern California. We've learned that one more person has died, which brings the total number of deaths to 11. Right now, a steady stream of mourners are placing flowers, candles, and mementos outside the dance studio where the shooting happened. The mayor of the city says the suspect may have been targeting his ex-wife.
Right now, the BCA is taking over the investigation into a standoff situation west of the metro that left 2 deputies hurt and the suspect dead. The McLeod County Sheriff's Office says around 12:30 yesterday afternoon, 2 deputies got the suspect's location and went to execute an arrest warrant. That's when they say those deputies went into the home, shots were fired, and they both were hit. They were taken to the hospital but were not seriously hurt. Authorities tried for hours to contact the suspect, who was barricaded inside a nearby home. About 6 hours later, the standoff finally ended. The suspect was found dead inside that house. Both deputies have now been released from the hospital. This morning, St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter is promising change, saying he will fight to close a legal loophole in Minnesota that allows guns in city buildings like libraries and rec centers. It comes after a 16-year-old was shot at the Oxford Community Center last week. The man charged in his shooting was an employee.
We will never take for granted the trust that our young people and families place in our recreation centers. Every participant, every parent, and every staff member in every part of our city deserves to have the utmost confidence that we are taking every action imaginable to ensure that our recreation centers remain safe havens for us all.
The mayor also wants an investigation and overhaul of safety at the rec centers. Oxford Community Center will remain closed, at least for now. Mayor Carter wants to take this fight to the state capitol. Here's a preview of how things could play out.
Good morning, I'm Danny Spiewak. In response to the recent shooting at a rec center in St. Paul, Mayor Melvin Carter is calling on lawmakers here at the state capitol to change state law. He says that currently the law prevents a city from being able to ban guns on the premises of places like rec centers and libraries. And he says he wants that to change, otherwise he'll threaten a lawsuit. We spoke with one member of the DFL in the House who says he would support such a change. We spoke to another member, a Republican, who says that he would need more information and would need to read the bill, but at first glance at this proposal would likely oppose it.
All right, Danny, thank you. The big story at the state capitol today is the budget.
Yeah, just hours from now, Governor Walz will lay out his plan for the budget and how it will affect every single Minnesotan. Our Cece Gaines is live at the Capitol right now with a closer look at this plan. Hi, Cece.
Hi, good morning. So this will be the first time that Governor Walz will be presenting a budget proposal to a DFL majority legislature. And part of his proposal would be spending $12 billion on Minnesota children and families over the next 4 years on things like free lunches for all students and then also some tax credits for childcare expenses. Governor Walz would also want to spend over $4 billion on expanding the state's workforce, and that money would also include protecting natural resources and combating climate change. A paid family and medical leave program would be introduced, and the largest agriculture budget in state history would be rolled out. Plus, Walz is hoping to use over $1 billion to expand affordable housing and also allow more residents to buy into the Minnesota Care Health Plan. Another $300 million would support public safety agencies across the state.
To be able to let local elected officials make those decisions. If that means firefighters, it means firefighters. If it means police, it means police. If it means 911 dispatchers or social workers, those are the decisions that are made.
Now, of course, a more detailed proposal will be laid out this afternoon at 1 p.m. by Governor Walz. But some Republicans say that Governor Walz's public safety proposal, which is about that $300 million, it comes up dramatically short compared to the other money in his proposals. Back to you.
All right, Cece, thank you.
All right, take a look at this video that is going viral out of St. Paul. A neighbor in Como Park posted it online from Friday, showing a city snowplow taking out several trash cans and recycling bins that were out at the curb ready for pickup. St. Paul Public Works apologized after hearing complaints, saying that they're investigating.
All right, well, we won't see any snow today. Here's a live look from Golden
Oh.
Valley this morning. It could be just the start of the cold air, though, blowing into the metro. Guy, you say we're going to add a couple of layers as the week goes on.
Yeah, we'll be having to get that big coat out. So when you see me next week, I'll have that big coat out here in the KARE 11 backyard because we're talking about some dangerously cold wind chills possible for the weekend, and that will persist into early next week. But first, you know, what's going on for today? Well, it feels like 10 on the skin. Temperatures are right around 17. And look at that icon there. You see that little cloud? That means once we hit around sunrise time, we'll be squeezing in some nice sunshine today. Just a little bit, though. We're not looking at bright and mostly sunny conditions, but it'll be nice to see some sun and cloud, like a sun and cloud mix right before those clouds will usher right back in for late afternoon. And then we're going to have some more snow chances, too. So this is all going to be ahead of our snow that's going to move in tonight and tomorrow. So again, if you're getting ready to step out here, dress for that. Southwest wind right around 5 miles per hour. Here's the next 12 hours. Here's that sunshine I was talking about. Just a few peaks here, 9 a.m., 11, we'll see mostly cloudy skies, and we'll see some sun and clouds here through about 4 o'clock later on this afternoon before skies turn mostly cloudy. Here you'll see 7 o'clock cloudy skies. Now look at tonight. You see that snowflake right around 8 o'clock or so. So we will have some snow showers in the vicinity this evening, off and on throughout the overnight hours, and then again tomorrow morning right around 6 a.m. or so. You'll see that here. That's right during most of us getting ready to head out for that morning rush. So we will have some snow showers this time tomorrow morning on radar. So come back and join us on sunrise as we track that out for you. And that will persist throughout the day tomorrow. Just periods of light snow off and on. Expect an inch or less when that's all said and done. Thursday will shut off the snow, turn colder before a brief warm up. Once we get some more moisture Thursday night into Friday, we're talking about another snow that could dump maybe a couple inches, and that could probably slow us down for that morning rush before dangerously cold temps this weekend.
Guy, thank you. Well, today lawmakers are going head to head with Ticketmaster.
Yeah, in less than 3 minutes, the topic that we've been talking about for months and the lawmaker that is taking the lead.
And the future of the COVID vaccine could be changing. We're going to explain the FDA's plan to help you stay healthy in the future.
And at 6:15, we're helping you get a raise at work. Well, hopefully, the tips you need to know to help you get a boost in your paycheck.